my name is Beth, and this is Rad Portraits, a show where I pick someone who I think is making history,
tell you why I think they're making history,
and then I draw them in a style that seems to be changing every single week.
Am I a commitophobe? My boyfriends would say yes.
It's been a tough couple of weeks. The world's been rough recently. I think we all know, we all see it, we all have feelings. I had a bit of a choice this week. Either I could go with like a very fun, charitable gamer type, or I could talk about someone and something that has a little more relevance for what's happening right now. I told you I'd be drawing a man this week, and a ton of you suggested Lin-Manuel Miranda. That's a great suggestion. Great job, guys. Wow.
Yeah.
Welcome to the part of the show where I reconsider all my life choices because the person I'm drawing is so incredible that I feel like a pea. Not even a tasty pea, like a freeze-dried pea. The fact that so many of you suggested Lin-Manuel Miranda makes me proud of how cultured you guys are. You're just a bunch of smart cookies. Miranda is an actor, composer, rapper, and writer. You know him as the writer and star of the Broadway musical Hamilton. In a word, he's a genius. American-born with a Puerto Rican heritage, Miranda grew up in the northern Manhattan neighborhood, Washington Heights. He later wrote and composed the musical In the Heights, based on the neighborhood he grew up in, which I had the honor of being able to see in New York while it was running. For me, a 17-year-old at the time, it was the first musical I had ever seen that incorporated rap and hip-hop to tell its story. As a high schooler, all I had known were operatic musicals like Phantom or Les Mis. The edgiest thing I had seen was Rent. But this was different. This completely changed what I thought of musical theater and what was possible for it to sound like. This introduced young white suburban teenagers like me to a different adolescence. Most of what we see on television and in movies are more people who look like us, doing what we do because writers write what they know, and most of the writers are white. Miranda knows a different perspective, and an important perspective, especially in our current cultural climate. This is someone who is telling American stories through the voices of Americans. He's making melting pots of creativity, and the soup is every color. At 36 years old, Miranda is already the recipient of a MacArthur Genius Grant, the Pulitzer Prize for Drama, a record-breaking 16 Tony Award nominations, and 11 wins for Hamilton, and he still has so much more ahead of him. The musical Hamilton, if you don't know, is the story of the founding father Alexander Hamilton's short life as told through a diverse cast of performers and with music that dances between what you would expect out of a musical and what you wouldn't. It asks the question that if Hamilton was the first hip-hop artist, what kind would he be? And by proxy, what would his peers sound like? I listened to the soundtrack for the first time while drawing this, and it legitimately had such a profound effect on me that I had a hard time focusing. Miranda's work touches something in everyone, and that something moved me to tears. We see outrage about Hollywood's whitewashing of non-white figures in film and TV all the time. For instance, Scarlett Johansson as Motoko Kusanagi in Ghost in the Shell. The replacement of Sylvia Rivera, a Puerto Rican trans woman, with Danny Winters, a straight white man in the upcoming movie Stonewall. The entire cast of The Last Airbender was changed. Like, not one of those people are white. Like, don't even get me started on The Last Airbender. This is not any one of these actors' faults necessarily. That this happens so often is a symptom of the much greater problem of systematic racism that we have, and had, ironically, since the time of Hamilton. But Miranda, here is a man doing something about it. Here is a man showing the world what is possible when you cast something other than white and then let them shine. He's taken the history that someone else has tried to exclude him from and reclaimed it. What he and the cast of Hamilton are saying is that they have a right to tell that story too, and that is clearly making an impact. July 9th was his final performance in the titular role of Hamilton. And I personally find myself at such a loss for having missed out on seeing the original cast. He's good. Guys, he's good. He's better than I am. His work ethic alone is like out of this world. And can I be completely honest with you? He's kind of living a dream that I had. I was a musical theater kid and I wanted to be writing and performing in musicals on Broadway so bad for so long. Like this video, subscribe to Snarled if you haven't already. If you like what I do, go ahead and check out my personal channel, Beth Be Rad, where I talk to you and drink coffee and draw pictures, just like this. Continue leaving me comments on who you want me to draw in the next rad portraits. I really like reading them, they make me feel really good. And that's it for me, Beth out! I don't ever know how to do outros. They're always a little bit weird.